What is going on, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. Today, we're going to be talking about the role ADC, the auto attack god in duo lane. It's going to be kind of a general guide. I have a lot of specific stuff towards support, and I'm not entirely an ADC player, but I did hit cap playing literally every role, so I'm very, very knowledgeable with every role. I just don't know the complete ins and outs as much as other people, but this is going to be a general guide for all you guys if you're either starting up the game or if you just want to learn more about the role as much as you can. If you guys do like the video, make sure you leave a like, comment, say this is a great video so I can maybe do it on the other 3 roles. I probably wouldn't do it on support because I have so much support content already on the channel. If you guys did like it, please leave a like, comment, stuff like that. So starting out, what is ADC? ADC is actually a league term. It stands for attack damage carry. Attack damage is basically their physical damage. So for Smite, ADC just means the hard carry god in duo lane, usually a ranged character. Every hunter is seen as a ADC type of god. The other type of ADCs are like Kronos, Freya, Olorun, Sol. Basically something that's viewed as scaling into the late game, and it is something that does do a lot of consistent damage, usually through auto attacks. Technically, there is some metas that have not done this exactly. There's been some mage in duo lane metas, but you've had some consistent damage elsewhere. You've had Cyclone's been playing Bologna ADC as like an anti-attack damage carry to try to shut down the attack damage carry and try to get the game finished before it even gets to late game. But that is super, super specific stuff that we're not too worried about. ADC just means consistent auto attack damage is what you want from that role. Now, what is their job? For the most part, their job just means scaling. They want to get to late game. Once they get to late game, that's when they're going to start carrying. That's where the term carry comes from. You're trying to carry the game. Their job entails a bunch of different things. Auto-attacking frontline, slowly poking out the tanks that are either walking too far forward or getting CC'd. Also hitting objectives, whether it is fires, gold furies, pyros, towers even. That is their job. They're going to need a way to exacerbate their auto-attack damage. They're going to need power and attack speed to just do more consistent damage. And then they're going to need some form of lifesteal. That's how hunter builds are created. On top of that, you're usually going to be wanting pen, percent pen. Flat pen doesn't matter too much. Flat pen matters a little bit more for squishy gods that are going on to you. So devs is actually a lot better in 1v1s because it's giving you flat pen against the other hunter. Compared to if you have Aussie, you're going to be having no flat pen. And then XE is going to be shred onto the enemy tanks or squishies either. XE is going to be reducing the enemy's physical protections. So say they have 200 physical protections. Every time you auto attack them, you're reducing the protections by 7% and max is 4 stacks. So you can get it all the way up to 28%. If you auto attack them 4 times, instead of hitting that tank for 200 protections, the first time you hit him, you're taking away 14. Second time, you're taking away 14 more. Third time, 14. Fourth time, 14. All in all, you're going to be reducing their protections by 56. Instead of hitting a 200 protection tank, you're going to be hitting a 144 protection tank. And then combine that with the current build, since power is in a strange spot for ADCs, you're not really getting a ton of power. Like right here, this current build, you're missing about 20 power from the devs gloves, but you're at 175 power. Your basic attack damage is a little bit farther up, and your pen is super high up. Demon Blade is giving you 10% pen when you hit an auto attack and it crits. Dom on all auto attacks, and I think this is something I should touch on also. Dom is only on auto attacks. Kin size does not get the pen from Dom. Kins does get the pen from Demon Blade's crit. It does get the pen from the shred of XE, but it does not get Dominance's pen. Dominance pen only happens on the actual auto attack, so it only affects the base auto attack and then the crit damage. So Dom is very good in crit builds. Dom is not as good in Kins builds, but sometimes if you're building like a hybrid like this build, the build is going to combo very well together because you have both crit and you also have the Kins damage. This is actually Zatman's current build. He goes Ornate, Devs, Demon Blade, XE, Kins, and then depending on what his attack speed is, I think he said the number is 22. If you can get above 22 stacks on Silver Branch is a better buy. If you can't get to 22, Dom is actually the better buy. So on a god like Cupid, you're not getting enough attack speed. You're not going to be buying Silver Branch. You'd be going Dominance. But for a god like Rama, Silver Branch is going to be very, very strong. We're going to be taking a look at Zatman and see how the current ADC start is. The current ADC start is the ADC pulling the green buff and the support pulling the back camps to this spot in between the wall right here. And then you use your shard a lot of the times just because you want that extra clear to clear this as quick as possible, focusing the big green minion. Why do you want to focus the big green minion? The big green minion heals all buffs in its range. So if you're hitting the small green buff or the small green side, the big green minion, as you're doing 40 damage to it, will be healing it for 20. So instead of doing 40 damage and you're actually just killing it, you're only doing 20 and you're actually doing half as much damage because it's getting healed for half as much. And then you come over to purple buff. You pull purple buff and you start walking to duo lane slightly. You don't want to drop aggro or anything, but you want to start getting over to duo lane to try to get this pressure in lane. Now, is pressure game losing in duo lane? No, but does it matter a lot, and can you generate a big lead with it? Yes. Shield and cooldown buff have now officially been changed to 1.5 minutes on their spawn. Instead of spawning at 1 minute after the second wave, they spawn at 1:30 minutes after the third wave. So this wave right here, this is a big wave to get pressure on, and they got pressure by poking out the Geb. Bacchus grouping the wave for Zap. Zap killing the wave. And instead of doing anything else in this laning phase, they go sprint right on over to the shield camp, do the shield camp, try to burn it as quick as possible. And this is just another way for them to push their lead to get Zapman to late game as quick as possible. When it comes to the role of Hunter, your positioning is more important than anything else. Looking at the Masters finals between the Ferryman and the Oni Warriors, Netroid and Cyclone Spin are both their Hunters attack damage carry. Netroid always sitting back, Cyclone always sitting back. Usually how fights are going to be lined up is it's going to be both the frontliners, which is Aurora and Baskin, the solo and support, are going to be sitting in the front line. The jungler is going to be looking for a flank. And then the mid laner and the hunter are going to be playing farther back, with usually the hunter farthest back. You want your mage playing a little bit farther in front because you want him to be able to poke out frontliners. Ethereal Staff proc right now by Paul. This was when E-Staff was actually 8%. So this would be knocking somebody up and he'd be stealing about 300 health or something like that. So that's usually what it looks like. It's usually hunter at the back, and then it is usually your mage, and then it is usually your support and your solo in the same spot, and then your jungler's just off to the side looking for a flank. So this entire time, you actually see Cyclone and Netroid never really going too far forward until somebody's out of position. So right here, Panatom is a little bit out of position. Cyclone walks up to punish him. As soon as he punishes him, Cyclone actually walks back away. Cyclone knows his positioning. He knows if he chases any far forward, he's going to be chasing into the enemy's jungle, right into the enemy's damage. So again, let's look at Cyclone Spin's positioning on this siege. Netroid has gotten picked in a previous fight, leaving this with a 5-on-4. 4 alive, 4 alive. Cyclone has not even stepped foot into the Phoenix yet because he needs his team to get him a little bit of space so he can actually walk in and auto this without taking too much damage in return. Cyclone's still waiting, finally walks in, autos it a couple times, and still spaces himself far enough back that he can auto attack the Phoenix without getting hit in return. So how are you going to be positioning in duo lane? So just a quick thing, how do you determine where duo lane is? Duo lane is going to be the side where the purple buff is. Purple, green, speed is duo lane side. Solo lane side is red, blue, and the other speed. That is for solo lane. You're always going to be going to duo side with the purple buff. In short, ADCs are the hyper carry, and they're the main focus on the entire map when the game starts to scale into late game. Yes, mages are important because a lot of their burst damage is how you one-shot either the ADC or the jungler or the other mid. But the ADC is the most important person on the map, as he's the one that does objectives. He's the one that kills the frontliners. He's the one that can 1v1 just about anyone. So that is where the importance of the ADC role comes from. That's why it's considered a hyper carry role and the carry role. This is just a simple guide, a simple general guide to help you guys to understand what the role is meant to be. Builds, positioning, stuff like that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. If you guys did like the video, remember, like it, comment, let me know. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. See ya.